Hello and welcome back to DriveDriverDriven. I'm Humble and we're back on the Blunicorn project again. This time we have a few more tasks up in the front of the car. So last time around we dealt with the wing, the rear diffuser, and kind of wrapping the back of the car. This time we're getting on the nose to basically finish up a bunch of projects that were kind of put aside until now, and we finally have to address them. So let me show you what we're working on. Well, quick update on the AC. So the AC checked out good. It held a vacuum for actually like 5 days is when I finally got back around to checking it. So system is sealed, good, and I have a couple AC filler cans so we can charge that and test it. I have yet to actually hear the AC pump run, so we'll figure out how loud or quiet that is and how well it works. I did get the wiper assembly on. I want to say that in the past I had it more dead center, or it parked center, but for some reason this just seems like it's off to the passenger side, and I'll have to go back and check pictures, but this is so that the wipe area is centered and the blade sits more to the passenger side. So yeah, I can't figure that out. I'm sure there was like some adjustment or something like that on the motor. It just seems like last time I had it set up on the car, it was more towards the middle. So I don't know, just weird stuff. But anyway, the wipers are on and done, or I should say wiper. Really to the point though is we're cleaning up this mess today. There is a few projects that were stopped and started. So like one was actually getting the brake reservoir mounted. So that's done. Down in here, this is actually our lift pump for the front shocks. And on the Nitron shocks, we have our lift cups here. And the lines are run on both sides. And I've already filled it. There's a little tube of or a bottle of mineral oil that comes with this kit from Ultima, and it's hard to see, but the filler port is right back here behind where the high pressure fitting is. And don't do what I did. Make sure you put that bottle inside the pump and fill it up before you mount the pump. It's just easier to do it that way. I had to use a syringe and a little bit of hose to get back in there and fill it up. So you want to make sure you do that before you get your pump mounted in the car, because it's really difficult. It's just a pain to get to once everything is in there, just because it sits underneath the steering rack. What else for the front? So we got to tidy up our wiring. We have to tidy up we have to mount our power relays, and basically just make this all look good and get our front bulkhead mounted again. We also got to mount our sensor block, or our sensor hub for the aim data, and basically just in general clean up the wiring so it's good to go. Make sure our brake lines are good and set up, and just generally get everything final mounted and finally assembled. So first things first, I'm gonna fill the AC, and we're gonna test it. We're gonna see how the pump runs and what it sounds like. Okay, it's a little dark, but we're gonna test the AC pump. So currently, I don't know if I think the fan's connected, the AC's connected. This is our AC plate here, which is normally mounted up under the dash and out of the way. And I've just reconnected the line so it's just kind of hanging there off the electrical, but it'll do for now. All we want to do is just turn on the AC, turn on the fan, see if the AC pump starts, and make sure the fans run. I do have the car on the charger. I don't want to fire it up just yet, but I know there is a provision for the AC pump so that if there's too little voltage, it won't stay running. All right, so we have power. We have 13.1 volts on the dash. Let's test our AC pump. Well, that's significantly louder than I thought it was going to be. All right, I'm going to have to check my wiring because the AC pump will turn on in base power mode, but not in a main mode, so I probably need to reconfigure that. But the pump does run. And I can't tell if it's blowing cold air or not because I need to fix some of the, well, digital wiring, I should say. But, yeah, pump is successful. It's just quite a bit noisier than I thought it was going to be. It's noisy now while the car is off. Whether you can actually hear that while the car is running remains to be seen. So while we're in here, I want to talk about our can pad and our lift buttons here. So when you first turn the car on, this is what you'll see. There's a blinking green light on our master switch, which tells you that the system has power, but only for like critical things like the power steering, the aim dash, and the can pad. Just because all three of those things sit on the master circuit. And the actual PDU or PDM. From here, you just hit the master button once, which is equivalent to like accessory mode on your key, and press it again. So you have two lights, and that is basically on. Or, you know, so everything is fully on and all your circuits have power. So next up is we just want to test our lift buttons. So this is up, this is down. It's difficult to see because it's silhouetted by the light, but there are little graphics on each button to show like nose up or nose down. So pressing up, you press and hold it till the pump stops. And so you don't forget that the nose is up, you get an annoying chime. I noticed that the front end lift doesn't go up fully. So you can press it a second time, which gives enough pressure for the cups to fully lift the nose, and that gives you about 1.5 inches. And then the down button is actually just a release valve. So it opens up and the car drops actually very quickly. You have to remember that when you're on the road, not to hit that too early because it does just drop the nose. One thing you want to do is when you're bleeding the system, you want to press the lift once to cycle a bunch of the fluid through it and then leave it sit for about a minute. And then press the drop button and then wait another minute. And then keep up with this process. Lift, wait a minute, drop, wait a minute. And doing so should cycle the fluid through the pump and through the lines enough that you can successfully get all of the air bubbles out. So this is what the lift looks like from the outside, if you guys can see that. The splitter here at the edge is about 4 inches off the ground, give or take. And if I go and raise the car from the inside, after the first button press, it's about 4.75 inches off the ground. And after the second button press, it's about 5.25 inches off the ground. So it makes a huge difference at the leading edge of the splitter. And then when I go and release the button, you can see how quickly this drops. Okay, so next up is on the front of the car. we need to deal with our relay mounts. So I have our washer bottle here. I'm just going to temporarily fit this in place. So our washer bottle sits right here on the bulkhead, and our relays I wanted to fit right over in this area, tuck it off to the side, and either route the cabling around the front of the washer bottle or under if they'll fit, but I think that might be a tall order. So first up, I want to get our holes drilled for these relays and get them fastened to the bulkhead with some riv nuts.
Step you take, attention is left in your wake. Everywhere you see, blinded yet infinitely. Spectrum of a time, takes from the shape of a line. Each instance proves to me a moment reaching endlessly.
Quite a bit of fiddling and futzing about with stuff. I had accidentally pulled out one of the wires here, which was a power lead for something. I'm not sure what, but got that all fixed up. Got our relays mounted, got our washer bottle mounted. Did develop a little bit of a brake fluid leak. Not sure what's going on. The hoses are leaking from basically the barb area on the fittings. And I threw a zip tie around it and tightened it up as much as I could. It shouldn't be leaking there, so we'll see if that holds. I had to top off my reservoir for the ones that were leaking, and I tossed down a fresh paper towel there as a telltale, so we'll see if that leaks overnight. Elsewise, I was able to get our wiring and our washer bottle hose to run under the bottle to kind of hide my crimes a little bit. Everything else sort of tucked out of the way over here. Not super happy with it, but this is more function than form. This is just kind of the mess as it ended up, because there's just a lot of things that all need to connect in this area. I have my sensor block here, and then my CAN hubs here and here. The CAN hubs are for these sensors, which are my tire temperature sensors. They're 8-channel tire temperature sensors. They're not mounted yet. And then there's still brake temperature sensors and shock load sensors that need to plug into these guys. But I'm gonna wait on those because I don't want to waste a set of load cells on these shocks if I'm gonna change them. So I'm gonna hold off on those, and I'll get the brakes, the brake temperature sensors hooked up sooner than later. I just want to get everything wrapped up here. I have our new removable front bulkhead panel put into place. It's a little wavy, but you know, such is life when trying to remove a bonded panel. It's just going to get messed up a little bit, but overall doesn't look too bad. What else? Other than that, it's pretty much wrapped up for this whole area under the front clamshell. I got to fill the washer bottle still, and actually hook up the power and ground wire for the washer bottle. But other than that, all the wiring up in this area is done. So just a handful of little projects today. I've been meaning to get those done. I've wanted to get those done for a long time, and now that they are, the next project is actually to get the nose back on the car and to get the latches installed on that. Otherwise, I think that's going to do it. As I mentioned, kind of another small project day today. We really are nearing the end of the rebuild. So thank you for watching so far, and I'll see you guys next time.